The purpose of this video is absolutely simple. We're going over the highest PFF grades and the team grades for the West Virginia Mountaineers and their upcoming opponent, the Ohio Bobcats. Their grades from this past weekend's game. And we'll see how they stack up at various positions and overall as a team. So stick around and we'll go over those grades right now. What is up, and welcome into this episode of Couz's Corner, your home for top shelf college sports news and analysis around the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Big 12. I remind you to please hit the thumbs up button if you like this content. But let's go ahead and dive right in to the grades. First, let's look at the team grades. Overall team grade for Ohio University against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights this past Saturday was 70.2. Not bad. And they obviously came really close to winning the game. They outplayed Rutgers in a lot of areas. Overall team grade is 70.2. However, West Virginia graded out at a 90.8 overall as a team this past Saturday against the Robert Morris Colonials. Now, I understand Robert Morris was an FCS school. I will take that in consideration, but it's my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but it's my understanding that PFF does not take opponent into consideration when doing their grades. But I have a hard time believing how you would not take it into consideration because I think it matters. But nonetheless, we're just going to go over the grades, and I'll let you decide what you think about them. Overall offensive grade. Ohio University had a 75.4 overall offensive grade. West Virginia had an 80 overall offensive grade. Passing grade. Ohio University an 81.2, so really good there. However, West Virginia with Nico Marchiol, Scotty Fox and company, Jalen Henderson, 95.5 passing grade by these Mountaineer quarterbacks. Run grade. Offensive run grade for Ohio, 67.2. West Virginia, 74.2. Defensive grade for Ohio U, 56.1. West Virginia overall defensive grade, 82.1. So phenomenal. Now, some other grades that are a little bit more detailed here. Let's look at, on the offensive side, pass blocking. How did West Virginia pass block as a team? Their pass blocking grade was a 75.5. This is the one grade where they actually graded out below Ohio. Ohio actually graded out at 77 on the day in pass blocking. So about a 1.5 higher in pass blocking on the day was Ohio over West Virginia. So that's one area West Virginia I would like to see them improve in. Run blocking. Ohio run blocking grade was a 67.2. West Virginia's was a 74.2. Run defense. West Virginia, 91.9. So great day in run defense. Ohio U, 64.2. Pass rush, West Virginia, 70.3. Ohio U, 65.4. Coverage grade on defense, 41.2 for Ohio U, 62.5 for the Mountaineers. Still not great, but much better than Ohio U did. And hopefully this means that Nico and company, whoever plays quarterback, will have opportunities to make plays down the field with the football. Tackling grade, 54.7 for Ohio. Man, does that mean Jaheim White can take advantage of that low grade and get some yards after contact? Let's hope. And then West Virginia had a much better tackling grade at 79.4. They tackled really, really well, I thought, against Robert Morris. Special teams grade, 61.6 for Ohio, 72.7 for the Mountaineers. Now, next segment, we're going to look at some key or some high-level performers, or the highest level performers, I should say, for each team at a few positions, or at each position, rather. And before we do that, I want to remind you real quick about the new sponsor here on the channel, the good folks over at DraftKings Sportsbook. We're going to give them a shout-out right now. Game on. Week 1 of the NFL season starts right now. And heck, for college football fans, we're already into week 2 of the season. And every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Right now, if you want to place a bet on any game, you can do so at DraftKings Sportsbook. For example, if you want to place a bet on the West Virginia-Ohio game, which right now sits with West Virginia favored at -3.5, you can do that. And by the way, lines are subject to change and odds are subject to change. For new customers, this one's for you. You bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now, so download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Couz. That's code COUZ to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Do you have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void on Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. All right, thank you for being patient. Let me get through the housekeeping there, and thank you to DraftKings for supporting the work here on the channel. Now, let's look at some key or top performers for each position group for these teams. First, let's go ahead and look at the offensive side of the ball. And let's just start off with quarterback, the position everybody wants to talk about. Obviously, we know about the day Nico had. It's been well publicized. One of the top performers in all of college football last week. Graded out with an overall offensive grade of 94.8 and a passing grade of 95.4. The starting quarterback on the other side, Parker Navarro, he had himself a good day as well. Graded out at 81.4 passing with an 89.7 overall grade. He did grade out a little bit better in the run game with 79.5, whereas Nico graded out at 72. But Parker Navarro is faster than Nico, so obviously he's going to grade out a little bit higher. Let's move over to the running back position. Which running backs perform better? Well, you guessed it. Jaheim White at West Virginia. 93 yards on the ground with 18 carries, 2 touchdowns, graded out at 71.1 overall offensive grade. Highest performer for Ohio, obviously their starter, C.A. Bangura, graded out at 55.2 overall. So not a great day from a grade standpoint. Now, he did gain 86 yards on the ground and only 16 carries, so he didn't have a bad day statistically. But according to Pro Football Focus, he did not grade very high, only 55.2. So I look for Jaheim White to have the advantage here. And the way Jaheim can make people miss and the way he gets yards after contact, if Ohio doesn't tackle any better in this game, he could break 100 yards for the first time this season. Conversely, if Bangura doesn't do a better job running with the football or doesn't grade out better against this Mountaineer team who tackles really well, he may not get 100 yards on the ground for the Bobcats. So I expect West Virginia to have the edge here in the run game this week. Now, let's go ahead and talk about catching the football. Let's look at receiving grades. We all know about Cam Vaughn at West Virginia, one of the highest performers in the country last week. Caught 7 passes for 118 yards. Pro Football Focus grade of 88.6 overall, 87.5 receiving. Chase Hendricks, though, of Ohio, not far behind him. He had himself a good day as well. 9 catches, 115 yards, overall offensive grade of 84.7, receiving grade of 85.5. A couple other notable performances. Jaden Bray at West Virginia graded out at 75.4 overall. And Jake Bruno, tight end at Ohio, graded out overall at 68.1. So he had a pretty good day as well. The next leading wide receiver, though, for Ohio was Ian Pugh, who graded out at 65.1. Now, let's jump over and look at the offensive line. How did the offensive line do for each team? How did they block? Well, let's find out. Let's look at the overall blocking grades. When you look at the players who played at least 60 snaps on the day, the highest overall performance was by Davion Witherspoon, a guard from Ohio, who graded out at 69 overall on the offensive line. Right behind him was the center for Ohio, Nick Marinaro, who graded out at 67.7 overall. So both of these players graded out higher than any offensive lineman at West Virginia, and keep in mind they were playing against a Power 4 opponent. Is that cause for concern for the Mountaineers? I guess we'll find out on Saturday. Highest graded offensive lineman from West Virginia, Right tackle, Tykeus Crawford, who graded out at 67. Next highest performer was Nick Cray, the left tackle, who graded out at 60.1. So Ohio had a better day up front blocking, according to Pro Football Focus, and it showed in their team grade, right? I said pass blocking grade. Ohio was slightly higher, and it shows here because the highest pass blocking grade on the day was Weatherspoon, who had 86.9. So a very good day by him. And then his guard on the other side, Trent Allen, graded out at 86.9 in pass blocking. And as good a quarterback as Parker Navarro is, if those offensive linemen block that good, it will make it harder for West Virginia to get to him. However, West Virginia does better on the pass rush side. Can they offset Ohio's blocking? We will find out in just a minute. I'll talk about those grades. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that now. Let's just do it now and get it over with. Let's look at the pass rush grade. Defensively for West Virginia, they graded out slightly better in pass rush on the day, 70.3, whereas Ohio graded out at 65.4. So overall as a team, West Virginia graded out about 5 points higher than Ohio. The highest performer from anyone who played at least 16 pass rush snaps, minimum snaps for this purpose, for the sake of this show. Hammond Russell, West Virginia, nose guard, graded out at 79.5 in the pass rush. He had 2 sacks on the day. Had a great day. Highest performer for Ohio was Plus Ajugo, who graded out at 65.4. Next highest performer for West Virginia was Edward Vesteranen at 58.6. 58.6. Not great. Again, this is guys who had at least 16 snaps. Now, if you reduce the snaps a little bit, a lot more guys you can add to this list. Reed Carrico had a great day pass rushing, 80.8 grade. Michael Molnar, Ohio, 72.6 grade. So there was some other performers. Chase Wilson had a good day. There were other performers that graded out well in the pass rush. They just didn't play a ton of snaps in a pass rush situation. So let's go ahead and move over to run defense. What players played the run the best? Well, it actually was an Ohio player, Michael Molnar from Ohio. 30 snaps in rush defense situations, graded out at 89.4. Highest performer for West Virginia was Chase Wilson at 86.5. Fred Perry for the Mountaineers graded out at 83.1. The next highest graded player for Ohio was Jalen Thomason, their safety, who graded out at 80.3. So some really good performances on run defense from both teams last week in their respective games. And then let's look at pass coverage here. This is the last thing we'll look at. Who graded out best in pass coverage? Well, when you look at players who played at least, let's look at guys who played at least 21 snaps. Jack Freeze, a linebacker for Ohio, had the best day, graded out at 70.3. That's a little concerning to me. Jason Chambers was the highest graded player at West Virginia, 23 snaps, 66.7 grade. Fred Perry right behind him at 66.2. DJ Walker of Ohio also had a good day. Well, not a good day, but was the next highest graded day on Ohio's team. He's a safety, graded out at 59.7. So neither team did that well in pass coverage on the day, according to Pro Football Focus. Who has the advantage there? I personally give a little bit of advantage there to Nico and the Mountaineers. But Parker Navarro can also sling it himself. But I think when it comes to throwing the football and being accurate, I give a slight edge to Nico, whereas I think Parker Navarro might have a slight edge in the run game over Nico. So there you have it. Those are the grades from last week. What do you think about these grades? How does each team stack up? What are your thoughts? Want to remind you to please hit the thumbs up button on this video. It helps get it pushed out. Please drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Please hype this video. Right between the download button and the thanks button below the video is a button called hype. If you hit that, it really helps my channel, helps me get pushed out. Shout out to my paid VIP members of this episode, T Jinx 048, Chris D, David Cummings, Jeremy Croy, and Brandon Bailey. Thank them all for their support. You can be a channel member as well by hitting the join button below or at my channel homepage. Reminder, linked in the comments below is you can follow me at SWVLE.com. Go to SWVLE.com, download it, follow Couz's Corner. You can get added as a browser extension. You can get Couz's Corner right on your computer. You won't have to search for my content. It'll be there for you when you open it up every single day. So go to SWVLE.com, SWVLE.com. Shout out to Appalachia Digital, another one of my sponsors. Thank them for supporting the show. They can design you a website just like they did me. Check them out at AppalachiaDigital.com/Couz. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Hope the rest of your day is top shelf, and Q Country Roads.